Duncan's had very serious symptoms of schizophrenia. He was hard speech, so it was hard to follow him, but he would just wear metal things in his beard that would serve as antenna, and he was a conduit for safety for the citizens of St. Louis, that information would come into his metal in his beard and be transmitted to the central police station so that they could deploy officers. So that's kind of, he was on a, unpaid mission, but he was expecting a check any day now.
This is somebody who has been homeless for 30 years plus.
Getting to know him a little bit more and knowing his history, finding out that it had been decades of homelessness that he was enduring, and finding out that he liked sleeping on, at the time there were some grates down that he would sleep on, so there was some heat for him. But that was just his spot that we could kind of find him there, where he felt the most comfortable.
So I think the key in this field is engagement and building rapport with people, getting them to open up to you, showing them through service and action what you are willing and able and wanting to provide to them and for them. So gaining that trust is essential.
We wanted to work with him on a daily basis so we could try to start having him take medications. He was not on any medications when we first started working with him. Every day, Monday through Monday, so even on the weekends, we were going down trying to find him, hey, here's a pack of medications, this is what it's for, would you like to take them this morning? What we tried to do was we would bring bottles of water, some food down there, sometimes we would get some donations, some clothes, things that he would need, and sort of use that as a way for him to trust us, that we did care about him and wanted to see him get better. And if he still said no, he still said no. And it was just a matter of what else can we do? What can we try? We never stopped. We had a team member, her name was Linda Alexander. She made it a point to work with him and to try to make his life better, whatever that was going to look like. And so she dedicated so many hours trying to help him get income. And so she helped him apply for SSI, and that was approved, and she was able to find out that he did have a military history, and worked with the VA on getting finding his records through that, and had to do all that so he could be approved for receiving income. And so that was probably the initial milestone where he was able to find someone that he trusted, that he would get into her car, because that was something he would not do when we first started working with him.
Getting him in to see Dr. Helmer for the first time was a huge milestone, because he wouldn't, anytime we talked before, he wasn't willing to come see the doctor. And so just getting him to come in and meet with Dr. Helmer for that first time, it was that flexibility of making sure that he understood that his health care was important, and for him to begin paying attention to his health care. And then he doesn't like oral medications, but he has agreed to an injection, so he does continue to take that every month.
Eventually you would get these little nuggets or statements like, hey, maybe I should stay somewhere for the winter. Or this past year he mentioned, I really liked watching TV when I was in the hospital. I would like to kind of do that more.
I have no idea what shifted for him, but I do know that if the team wasn't persistent and he didn't see those guys as people that wanted them to be housed, it would have never happened.
You do see that progress happening. You do see where, you know, when I look back from, yeah, it's taken 5 years, but when I look back to thinking this is somebody I couldn't even find or recognize the first time I saw him, to now 5 years later, we're getting ready to go into an apartment. You know, it's important to me to see that happen because I want that for him so badly. My biggest concern is that I have to sometimes step back and make sure that my wanting it for him so badly is not outweighing what he truly wants. So I think that's sometimes a tightrope that we all walk.
Someone doesn't reach a goal in 6 months, in a year, we don't kick them out. We don't stop working with them. And what I've come to learn is that the people that we work with, there's going to be ebbs and flows. What we as clinicians and what the members of our team take into account is that there will be highs and there will be lows. And we don't stop working with them when they're at their worst, and we don't stop working with them when they're at their best. We just always work with them. With someone like Duncan, it would have been easy to just stop and say, hey, this gentleman wants to just be homeless. He's not going to take his medications. It's a losing battle. What are we really doing? And our team never did that. And we want what's best for them, but the client drives our service. And so we have to keep pushing and waiting until they're at a place where we can meet them and they're ready to find an apartment. They're ready to stop drinking. They're ready to go to work. And we can't push our beliefs, we can't push our service on them until they are ready for it.
It's been inspiring for them to be able to witness this guy go from where he was to end up sleeping in a room that was warm on a bed.
After he was in the motel, I saw him put his feet back like this, and he was in the bed, and he said, I can finally lay down. And I was so happy for him because who knew how long it had been other than a hospital. And you know, hospital beds are so small, but this was like a queen size bed. And the fact that he could, put his legs out and lay back and smile, I was so happy for him in that moment.
From a personal standpoint, knowing Duncan for 6 years, to see him in this spot where he's able and willing to have a place to call his own is amazing. To know that he'll have his own set of keys and he will have bills in his name and he will have a bed to sleep in every night. For him, I hope that he doesn't give up when there are struggles, where he feels uncomfortable, that he can reach out to the team to help him when he needs it, that we can provide support in whatever way we can so he can be safe, that he can live the best life that he can, that his quality of life improves. So that's what I hope for him. And I know that it may not be easy. There may be starts and stops with this process, but just the fact that he's wanting to do this says a lot, and it makes us want to work even harder for him.